An unbelievable twist and turn in that one. Let's bring back in our think tank. Lawrence Zimmerman, I want to start with you. Keith Smart is the one facing trial. Valeria's daughter has entered into agreement. No commitment from her attorney about whether or not she's going to testify against her father. But let's focus on Keith Smart. What on earth is he possibly going to use as a defense at trial? Is he going to stick with the panhandler?
I guess. I mean, might as well stick to the first story that you came up with. This way it's not inconsistent. I know as crazy as it sounds, it's a very horrible story. And to hear that the stepdaughter killed the stepmother, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be a deal cut at some point for the stepdaughter. And maybe that'll be the deal. Maybe she'll agree to cut a deal and he'll get a better deal. 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah. Michelle, on the eve of trial, she ends up pleading to something, but no commitment on whether or not she becomes the key witness against Keith Smith in this case. What do you think how it's going to play out in court?
Sounds a little bit like a wink-wink deal to me, where she's kind of already got her deal and we know what she's going to do. I mean, she's already made the statements that have basically tied her down and told what the truth really is. It's very sad that these lies have incited hatred towards homeless people. And I think this case is just proof that a lot of times violent crimes are committed by the person who's closest to the victim. And this is just a great example of that, sadly.
Well, Eckler Mercy, that's kind of the headline, right? Is that Valeria Smith, who was so public about this, and Keith Smith also, but she really was the one in these interviews. The town of Baltimore all of a sudden went to war against homeless people and panhandlers. She was able to convince the public. But that was all a lie. What kind of witness would she be at trial? Can we believe anything that she says if she implicates her father?
Well, because she was the first one, the first one to snitch, gets the deal. So because she was the first one and she already pled, it sounds like they're just holding out for her proffer with regards to, her sentencing. So we don't have the sentencing. So I think that, in these types of cases, it waits on, okay, what are you going to testify to? And then we'll gather back to see whether it helps our prosecution, and then we'll sentence you from there. If I was the father's attorney, it's he said, she said. I would blame it. I mean, the only other option is to blame it on
You're
your
gonna throw
daughter.
your daughter under the bus?
Your
daughter gets
they
thrown
ran
under the
to
bus.
Mexico.
Yeah,
I don't think innocent people run to Mexico.
He doesn't. I mean, his moral compass right now is kind of broken. So it wouldn't surprise me if, it's against the daughter, and then the daughter he says that it was the daughter who had made up the plan or something like that. It can go toe to toe. I've seen it happen. It wouldn't shock me at all.
Lawrence, if she gets up and testifies and says, yeah, it was my father that did it, he did X, Y, and Z, on cross-examination, do you replay her television interview where she is totally broken up and crying and describing something completely different?
Sure. Were you lying then or are you lying now? So, I mean, that'll be the start. I mean, of course you'll play that. You'll go through every single inconsistent statement she made. I mean, she obviously has a motive to not be truthful. She's trying to avoid long-term incarceration, and she'll never see her loved ones again. But on the flip side, it's her father, so that's a pretty tough person to lie against to save yourself. So we'll see what happens.